JL Rock percent off collector. We're here with another Transformers unboxing and review, and today we're looking at the KO masterpiece from the Transformers line of Hot Rod G1. So this is the MP-28, and I got this off of AliExpress, and they had one of their summer sales. I swear some of their sales are just weird because it would be like midsummer sunshine, go outside, picnic, happy time sale. And they had one of their, actually, they had like two or three of their KO Masterpiece Transformers on sale. And I was like, you know what? I haven't bought a Masterpiece KO yet. Well, I bought the Tape Corpse Core, I guess, which is the Masterpiece cassettes for Soundwave, but I didn't actually get the Soundwave version yet because that one seems to cost a little bit more. This one was only, I got it for $24, and at least on the site it says that it normally charges $72, but they always pump up those prices. I think as of end of July it's about $32, but I got it for like I think 24 bucks. So as I said, these are KO, so knockoff. But from what I've seen from reviews and just friends who have gotten this as well, is that a lot of these are really nice. Now, I like Hot Rod. I have a bunch of Hot Rods. You can see a lot of other reviews I've done for various Hot Rods on this site. So I was like, look, it looks sweet. So let's take a look and see if it's worth it. I mean, 24 bucks, not bad at all. So you can see, has some pretty good box art, and that's another good thing that, you know, coming from AliExpress, you know, it's going to be coming from China, so it's always good to get the box. And you know, this one was not only had the box, but it was also wrapped in some pretty thick plastic, but you can see all the stuff here and how it looks. I like how it's Hot Rodimus. Cybertron Cavalier, so that's cool. But hey, enough of all that. Let's see what it looks like on the inside, because you never know. But I like watching a bunch of different YouTubes that had knockoffs, and honestly, as I said, a lot of the masterpieces have gotten good reviews. So, you know, you can't really go wrong if you're getting a so-called masterpiece for that price. So just right out of the box, I mean, it looks sweet. Now, here's the thing though about this review. I don't have any real masterpiece, so it's very possible that, you know, someone that has a masterpiece will look at this and be like right out of jump, they'll be like, oh my god, that's terrible compared to my version. That could very well be so, but for me, this is just based on just my experience so far, which is not a lot of experience. Only about a year I've been doing this, and you know, basing it on the other type of Rodimus and Hot Rod toys that I have. So you can see it with, that's the only bad thing. With these Masterpiece, it's a lot of transforming. That is a lot of work. So I am not going to be doing that live because, woo, I mean, I have trouble transforming G1. If I tried to do this on video, you guys would be here for like, this would be like a 3 to 6 hour video. And nobody wants to see that. But it's really cool as far as the pictures and everything. But I mean, I've seen videos of how to transform this anyway, so that's what I'm going to be using. Also has this cool card. I mean, that's pretty nice. It actually, card doesn't feel bad. I mean, look at it, glossy. That's weird. Medic. He's not a medic. That's just funny though. But it's actually a pretty nice feeling card. That's not bad. So I mean, not bad. This plastic that comes in with a matrix in it, so that's pretty cool. Let's take off this plastic at the top, and everything got to shaking. I did that. All right, so right out the bat, it again light, but doesn't feel super cheap. It does feel light, but not bad. I mean, it looks pretty sweet, and I'll show you the other Hot Rods I have shortly. I'll compare the vehicle modes to this, but I can just say off the bat so far, I mean, it looks pretty sweet. we'll get right back to this in a second. Let's look at some of these accessories. Oh, so I guess, okay, so this is, that's kind of funny. So this would be the fishing pole that he was using in Transformers the movie. I was gonna say, does it move? No. So, I mean, that's just cool. It's just an accessory just to have for the heck of it. I do like, I mean, look at the detail on that. That is not bad. I mean, it's a fishing pole. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to get twisted here, but that's nice. And then this, you remember that he had the saw that he used in the movie when they were underwater and he was saving Cup. You can see you got a little defect there, but I mean, again, this stuff like that doesn't bother me. But I could imagine if I paid 70 something for it, then maybe it would. But I do take into account what I paid for it as well. But I think that's pretty nice. I mean, got a great spin. The connection, not bad, right? And the matrix, again, I mean, this actually has halfway decent weight to it. Like, this feels like die-cast weight. This, like, maybe this is, like, I think this is die-cast, actually. And I like how the gem on the inside, I mean, look at that. I mean, yeah, you can see up close the bleeding of the paint and stuff like that. But, I mean, overall, like, I mean, like, when you look at it like that, which is, I mean, the eye is going to be looking at it like that. It's not going to be close up like how I'm doing it like that. Though, I mean, I can understand collectors, hey, you want to see as good as possible. But to me, that is not bad. I mean, just the fact that how much weight this has to it and how it feels, I think that's really nice. And then you have his weapons, which I'm pretty sure these, oh no, they're not. I'm about to say that they're identical, but nope. And again, I like the details in that. Just the different cuts and the way that it looks in each. All the way around, it's really nice. You got that motion as well. Then here's the other one. Same thing. So that's really nice. I have to say that, I mean, so far so good. I'm really liking this. So let's move the accessories out and get down to the main nitty-gritty here, because this is what we came to see. So right off the bat, I just have to say that I think that it looks really good. You know, I'll get in really close. Let me actually get the regular zoom going so that you can see. But I mean, the paint looks really nice. Obviously, when you get in close, you can see little flaws. Like, I can see something there, I can see something there. But I'm looking overall, like, just the overall presentation of it. Like, I like the way the engine looks here. You know, I think that's sweet. Even like underneath that compartment is nice. I mean, look at the detail underneath the lights. Like that's just nice. And as I said, I don't have any masterpieces, so I can't, you know, give you, you know, any of my opinion versus the actual real thing or even other masterpiece lines. But I can tell you, it just looks good. And just looking at the side again, really nice with the wheels, the sides. I'm liking that. And then the back area, again, liking the paint job. Then the other side, and then inside in the cockpit, I like the blue that they use here. I'm sure that this probably does go up, but it doesn't feel like it from here, so maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh no, is it from here? No, I can't. It should, but maybe again, it looks like it does, but it could just be me, or maybe that is just part of the transformation. It's not, doesn't. It feels like it could be just part of the transformation, but it also could just be that I'm being too careful with it. But I mean, it feels like it should. Like this here looks like it would, but I don't know yet. But we'll get back to that. Looking up here at the top of the spoiler, I like the different color with that and everything. And underneath, I mean, most of the other ones look just like this when you flip it upside down. So that's pretty cool. So let me show you, let me zoom out a little bit. Actually out, not in. And I'll show you some of the other ones that I already have that we can compare and contrast. Alright, so we got these. So you can see, I mean, obviously this one's kind of the odd one out because this is the one that I just did a review on, which is the Street Fighter version. So you're not going to be able to see, but I mean, you could kind of see the design as far as how the robot is pretty much the same. But we can move this out since it's the one that's most that's the most different. But if you can see here, so basically we have the G1 reissue. So this is the official reissue, so not a knockoff. I made a mistake, I thought it was a knockoff. But as you can see, like when you flip it over, I mean, but you know, they have, it's not, and of course this is not, this is like more plastic. I mean, this is plastic too, but you can see the design is different, doesn't have the two-tone. This has more of that gloss, where this is like that matte, more blue here on it, things like that. Side panel is pretty much the same, except you have the extra flames and stuff on that, and of course the Autobot symbol, things like that. And then the back is a little bit different, so you can see the differences in that. And then this is the from the movie, so this is kind of more the simpler version. It still is kind of like a G1 because the transformation is simple, and if you can see, of course, lighter color, so it's a little bit different color set. They didn't go with the I guess chrome color. They instead just went with this plain, which I admit, I don't know, I don't really, that's the one thing that kind of disappointed me. I don't know why they went with that, because I mean, just making this that kind of color, I don't think would have been a big deal. I think it would have just made this pop even more than to go with this color. But you can see again when you flip it on the other side, I mean, that's kind of the same model for each one. So that's kind of the reason why I almost went with this version for the you know, knockoff Masterpiece to start with, because at least I had some other hot rods that I could compare it with and just be like, oh, okay, now I can add another one to my collection. But I mean, just you could just see that overall the difference is really nice. So I have to say that just in vehicle mode alone, I'm really happy with this. And I was trying to see if there was anything on the side where you could mount any of the weapons, but I don't think so. So I think it's only once you have it in his hand. But yeah, I mean, this looks just really nice. I could definitely just have it in its car mode and be happy with that. But obviously, we're going to show you what it looks like in its vehicle mode as well. Alright, so actually, before I go back to its transformer into its robot mode, let me show you a few things that I did realize that I missed. First of all, let's just talk about rolling. You don't really get much of a roll with this. Like, it does sit, but you can see it does move the wheel when it goes back and forth, but you don't really get a drive with this. And I mean, maybe it's a little bit loose, and I could play around with that so more of the wheel is touching the ground, but you're not really getting a roll. Now with these here, like I said, you have the two functions, and I was looking for holes and I realized, okay, it's a Masterpiece, and that's the thing. Not having a Masterpiece, I didn't realize that it made sense that they would kind of make it hidden, because normally on non-Masterpiece it would just be a hole, but here that's where it is. So that's what threw me off. So you can see, bam, you can put that in on each side. Oops, oh wait, sorry, I had that on the other side. So there you go. And not only that, but under here this raises up, and then you have another port. So you could put that here, even though I think How far did this go back? Okay, this does go. So you could go with just that. So if you didn't want to have two up top there, and that's cool how it covers back up. So you could go with that, which actually looks cool. I mean, you don't really, I mean, I guess if a human was sitting here, you could still look out the side, but that actually looks kind of badass, if I do say so myself, because the backing of the chrome kind of makes it look like it's almost like a little extra guard. So I have to say that's pretty sweet. So that was one thing that I definitely did miss in the first go around, is that you can mount the weapons in all those places. All right, now without further ado, let's take a look at it in its robot mode. Last thing, but I was wrong. And this is one of those things where it's like, because I didn't have any other masterpieces, you kind of find out more after the fact. And one of those things is that you actually have a compartment underneath here that can hold the matrix. So it's like, how does that work? Well, you can actually open up the hood. So you open up the hood and then you could put the matrix down in there. I think it's this way. Oh, no, because it's sticking out. Let's see exactly how this goes. There we go. So you can see that fits in there pretty nice. So once you have it in there correctly, then you can go back and close this down. It's kind of like a hinge, like you see how it's on the hinge there. So it's like you close it and then you push it down, and then it's underneath here. So it's like you have that storage. So that's kind of cool, because in the end, everything that comes with it, well, I guess except for the saw and the fishing pole, can go with him. Of course, if you have it open, like, it'll fall out, but closed like this, you can see doesn't fall out. So that's pretty sweet. So I think that's it. I mean, I could be wrong. I think that's it. So now we'll show you the robot mode. Right, and we are back after the transformation, and I have to say it was not that bad. But here's what I want to say first of all. First, I'm going to send a shout out to EMGO. So you can see EMGO 316. That is EMGO 316. And what I did is I looked for the official transformation, because on his video it actually is the real version, but this uses the exact same transformation. So that's a good thing. So if you do get this and you want to look at a video of how to transform this, you can just look up MP-28 masterpiece for EMGO, and he will walk you through it awesomely. I mean, this was like extremely painless. I thought it was going to be difficult because I heard that masterpiece transformations are difficult. So here's a few things I just want to tell you to keep an eye out on. So a lot of things that happen with these masterpieces and a lot of the transformation is the use of tabs. And that's really good because it makes transforming easier, because you have an idea of where things are to go. But sometimes this can happen with legits, but you'll see it happen a little bit more with knockoffs, where maybe the tabs don't fit or fit as well. Like, for instance, you're supposed to have that tab there to hold this up. So it is in there, so it's not like falling apart. But looking at how it looked on EMGO, it looks like it went in a little bit further than on mine. I can tell you that, like, so here, if you look here, there's little tabs here that go into here, and these had no problem. So that made me happy. Down here on the legs, there are tabs behind this part here, and I noticed that for here it didn't really need to go in there, so it didn't completely fit in there, but it's still closed and it still allows him to stand, so not a problem. I could also say, like, little things like turning down these tabs here on the back to have it sit. That wasn't a problem. Like, I was worried, like, putting these down. You can see, like, little things here and there, but I actually watched a few videos and I saw that on the legit version as well. Something like rotating this around. At first I was a little bit worried about that when I saw that, but what's really cool is it worked well. And if you notice, like when you, it's like you can see like a little something there, right? But when you notice, when you turn it, you can actually feel it kind of like lock into place. So that made me feel good. So that's little things that, you know, you notice that with the knockoff versus the real thing. And like I said, I was watching his video, actually watched the entire thing just to see if I could notice any differences. And to be honest, this looks pretty darn spot on. Obviously, if you're the collector who really is into that masterpiece, I am sure just looking at like EM goes, I couldn't see as many of the little imperfections that I found here, but maybe it's there and it's just that, you know, I didn't study the video enough. So someone can tell me just overall, if you're someone that collects both, or just you're really knowledgeable at the difference between the two, if you feel like there's some dramatic drop off. But I can just tell you, just your basic test, right? If someone comes over and just looks at a figure, and they're not like a super collector that knows every little step, I just couldn't say that they'll just be like, oh, that's definitely a knockoff. You know, like it just looks good. And I think that's the calculation that someone makes when they're thinking about cost and stuff, because a lot of people don't have $100 to toss on this. Maybe they have $100, but as I said, when I picked this up, there was like 3 or 4 other masterpiece knockoffs that I could have gotten. So I could have gotten 4, basically almost 4 for the price of 1. So that's the kind of calculation that someone will have to make, where it's like, hey, you might get a broken tab, or hey, it may not fit correctly, or hey, it may have some imperfections somewhere. What matters to you the most? But for me, I mean, just looking head to toe, I'm really happy. Everything on here, you know, looks great. And as I said, so the weapons, you know, obviously you can switch it to the longer end. Oh wait, actually, I don't think that's true. No, it isn't. I gotta see what the longer one is for then, because I thought the longer, I guess, stub or whatever was for that mode, but no, this fits. But no, it looks like it shouldn't though. Do I just have it off? Because it does seem kind of low like that. But that fit much better, but I'm guessing that it's not supposed to be like that. Since you can, as you can see, you can articulate the hands. I'm gonna go through articulation too real quick. So I'm guessing, yeah, it is like that, because since you can articulate the hands, you want to have more room for it, for the actual gun. It feels strange trying to fit into the hand, but I guess like that it's better. But you see, like even while I was messing with that, I pulled the little joint out. But I think that's more than me. I think that's me that did that, not it being a knockoff. But let's talk articulation. Let's zoom out a little bit so that you can see that. So you have, you know, bendable knees, which is really cool. Really cool effect of this, having these legs like that. The feet, I mean, this is part of the transformation, but you can still move around the feet and close here to play around with that to get the nice shape. And you can swivel it up at the hip joint, so that's cool. And you got full waist turn, so that's cool. And then, as I said, with the hands, you actually have articulated fingers. Oops, man, this thing does not like that look. All right, there you go. So you can see you got the hinge there, and that's why I was saying with the gun that I guess it's like that. That's what it is. I was thinking more like old school Transformers, where you just push in, where I should have been thinking more like G.I. Joe, where you kind of articulate the hand. So I mean, that's cool, because now you have it in there and it fits well. And look, you can close the fingers around it, and now that looks pretty good. And as you can see, so maybe this is the joint. So I mean, this could be one of those things like, I didn't really put too much pressure on it and it still came out. Now I'm sure I can play around with that. Maybe I didn't push it in hard enough, but that's not a problem. I'm not really too worried about that. So as you can see, you can move around the hand, and you also have the elbow. You can also turn basically above the elbow, and then this is more part of the transformation, this here. So it's really supposed to sit like this out front, and then this is part of the transformation too. So it's really supposed to sit like that. And as I said, you can see again it came off there. So maybe that is a thing, but you still get a really good range of motion as far as the arms. And as I said, it doesn't feel too loose or flimsy either, neither the legs or the arms or the fingers, so that's really good. And then of course when it comes to the head, you got pretty good range of motion. Look at that. I mean, you can turn the head all the way back, you can look down. I mean, I like the glasses, how they look and everything. So I really have to say I'm digging it. I just have to say that for the price and everything, I'm happy, because as I said, I've had enough Transformers now that I see, you know, imperfections in legits. So to see some imperfections on this, it's not like I feel like, oh my goodness, I definitely got cheated or something like that. I don't feel that way. I think that this is great. This is my first knockoff masterpiece of any kind. So I mean, maybe one day I'll get my hand on a masterpiece and I'll be able to do a better comparison and say, hey, it's definitely a difference. But as far as the plastic, the paint, the articulation, the transformation, a lot of it lines up to me exactly like you would expect from the real thing. And as I said, just looking at the EM Go, it looks like the transformation, all that is the same. So it looks like, as far as this, like people might be wondering, how does that fit? So when you transform this, you open this up and you rotate that in and out and it closes in. So once you have that little stub, booyah, son. That's how you do that. So I guess you can have him where he's fishing. Oops, yeah. I'm bumbling. You got him fishing. There you go. So now he's ready to go fishing, and when he catches something, he's got the saw to cut up the bait. So that is awesome. I have to say that I am happy with this. I don't have any problem. As I said, you can find this. I got it for about, I think it was 24. I think it's still on sale for around 32. AliExpress is always having little sales where I'll drop the price on these. And honestly, since this worked out so well, it came packaged well, it's worked out well, the little minor things that I've encountered does not bother me. I am much more likely to purchase more of them. In fact, I will say even this, of course, I'm always trying to build and increase the channel. I'm going to put the link to this in AliExpress. If there's an AliExpress KO masterpiece that you'd like me to get and review, tell me in the comments and I will try and get it. Seriously. I mean, unless it's the expensive one, like don't pick one that's like 50 or 70 bucks. Like, go for the ones, you know, like 35 and under. Maybe if I get to 500, maybe I'll buy more. I'll buy the Shockwave. I'm not Shockwave. I'll buy the Soundwave KO, because I think the Soundwave KO is still like 50 something bucks, and it's like, that's not bad, but I rather just wait, and it's not in any risk of running out. But yeah, so they had other ones there. You can look it up on AliExpress and just let me know what you'd like me to get, and I probably will, just because I am happy with this and it's going to be an awesome addition to my hot rod collection. So once again, thanks so much, and this is really, really cool. Hey, thanks for checking out the channel, and if you like what you've seen, please consider giving us a like, comment, a sub, all that stuff. It really helps the algorithm as we try to make a push to reach out to more collectors that like me like to get that discount, because you know how I say, no discount, no deal. All right, catch you later.